George Churchill, of course, when Knox College was founded, they had the Knox Academy in mind. George Churchill was among the first early graduates of Knox College. And he made a tour of Europe to learn about European education and came back with ideas. And so that went into the prep school. He was the head of Knox College's Knox Academy, they call it, the prep school. He was head of it for about 50 years and probably right up until 1899 when he died. And then the prep school didn't last too much longer, another maybe 10 years.
But then the other, was it the junior high that was then named after him?
Yes, and right, and he's also, in addition, and this is interesting because even though he was the head of the Knox Prep School, he knew that not everyone could go to the Knox Prep School. So he's also the founder of the Galesburg Public School System, so he does both.
Yeah.
And implements ideas he's learned from Europe about education. And even when that academy was down on Public Square, it had a sign over the door that said the German school. Well, you know, I had to think about that. But what was the idea? He was apparently very taken by German education, understandably. And so they kind of touted the idea, promoted as the German school. In other words, we're doing things differently here.
Yeah.
And so
he would have been there, and would that have been pre or post Civil War when he went to Europe?
Oh, just pre-Civil War. Yeah, right after.
Probably?
Yeah, 1850s, I think, because it would have been right after he and his classmate Erastus Swift Wilcox. Wilcox was interested in libraries, so he wanted to learn more about European libraries. Churchill, interested in education, wanted to learn about European schools. Well, Wilcox came back, and then he became the head of the library in Peoria. So he's kind of the founder of the public library, the father of the public library in Peoria. Also, he was the author, even though he was not in the legislature, he was asked to draft it, and he drafted the first bill for calling for a levy for public libraries. So he has a role, and that bill that they adopted in Illinois that was Wilcox wrote, makes him really the founder of public libraries in many states because other states patterned their act after it. So he and Churchill and Wilcox made a point, young guys, but made a very serious young guys, made a point of learning about European libraries and European education and bringing this back.
And then they managed to survive the Civil War.
Yeah, yeah.
And stick around to implement.
Yeah, now
vision.
he did have a son who died in the Civil War.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Wilcox is buried in Peoria?
Yes, he is at Springdale Cemetery. That's why I visited his grave.